Good day, everyone, especially to you, Miss Escoton. Today, I want to share my personal thoughts on some pressing issues that continue to challenge our country. The ghost flood control projects, substandard infrastructures, and the rising taxes among Filipino workers and consumers. This may sound like big national problems, but in truth, they affect our daily lives more than we realize. Let's start with the ghost flood control projects. These are supposed to protect communities from flooding, but sadly, some of them exist only on paper. The government allocates funds and announces these projects as completed. Yet, in reality, nothing has been built. It's disappointing to think that instead of using that money to protect families and communities, it ends up wasted or stolen. Every time there's heavy rain and people lose their homes to flooding, you can't help but wonder. Maybe it's not just nature's fault. Maybe it's because someone failed to do their job. And it hurts to see our fellow Filipinos suffer, especially those who live near rivers or low-lying areas. They rebuild their homes again and again with hope that next time the government will finally act, but often that next time never comes. This clearly shows the lack of transparency and accountability in our system. We often hear promises of better infrastructure and flood protection, but many of them remain unfulfilled. If only these projects were truly completed, perhaps fewer Filipinos would suffer during typhoon season. After all, a well-built flood control system doesn't just save property, it saves lives. Now, let's move on to substandard infrastructures. Weak school buildings, cracked roads, and bridges that don't even last a few years. These are not just minor inconveniences, they are serious safety hazards. Imagine being a student studying in a classroom that leaks when it rains, or a driver using a road full of potholes just months after construction. It's frustrating because the government spends millions, yet the results do not reflect the money spent. Some might say, at least something was built. But if that something puts people in danger or breaks easily, then it's not a real accomplishment. It's a failure or responsibility. Poorly built structures also show a lack of respect for the people who use them. We deserve infrastructures that are safe, strong, and long-lasting, not ones that crumble after a single storm. The main causes: poor monitoring and corruption. Some contractors use cheap materials to save cost, while others in charge of checking quality simply ignore their duties. And sometimes, officials who are supposed to inspect the work just sign documents without even visiting the site. If we continue allowing this, it won't. It just wastes public funds. It will endanger lives. Next is the issue of higher taxes. Every Filipino worker knows how it feels to see a large portion of their salary deducted for taxes. Of course, we understand that taxes are necessary. They fund education, healthcare, and infrastructure. But the real problem arises when we don't see where our money goes. Prices keep rising, yet the quality of life stays the same, or even gets worse. It's disheartening because Filipinos work so hard, but it often feels like their efforts don't go far. Many now ask, where does our money really go? The simple question reflects that growing loss of trust between the people and the government, and when people start losing trust, it becomes harder to unite as a nation. Because trust is the foundation of progress. For me, the government should strengthen transparency and auditing. Every project, big or small, should be closely monitored from the start to finish. Citizens should also have access to progress reports so we can see how our taxes are being used. In this digital age, it's possible to post updates online for everyone to see. There's no excuse for hiding information anymore. There should also be stricter penalties for corrupt officials and contractors. It's not enough to expose them. They must face real consequences. If wrongdoers keep getting away with corruption, it sends the message that it's acceptable to do wrong. Justice delayed is justice denied, not just for one person, but for an entire nation robbed of progress. And lastly, we citizens also have a role to play. We can't just rant online or keep blaming others. We must stay informed, ask questions, and report irregularities in our communities. Even small actions like voting wisely, following rules, and practicing honesty can make a big difference. Change doesn't always start in big offices. Sometimes it starts with a single honest person choosing to do what's right. In the end, these problems, ghost projects, poor infrastructures, and high taxes are all connected by one root cause: the lack of honesty and responsibility. If we can fix that, we can fix so many other things in our nation. Because corruption isn't just about stealing money, it's about stealing opportunities from millions of Filipinos who deserve a better life. But despite all of these challenges, I still believe there is hope. I believe in a Filipino people, resilient, hardworking, and full of faith. We've been through so much from natural disasters to political issues, yet we never give up. Time and time again, we rise, rebuild, and believe again. That's what makes us special. If we unite and choose leaders who truly serve, not just talk, we can build a better and freer Philippines. Because at the end of the day, real progress doesn't come from fancy speeches or empty promises, but from genuine service and honest work. So to all of us here, students, teachers, workers, and future leaders, let's remember that change starts with us. Let's be the kind of citizens who choose honesty over convenience, action over complaint, and hope over hopelessness. If every Filipino does their part little by little, our country will not just rise, it will truly shine. Thank you, and may we all continue to be the light that brings change to the Philippines.